Okay, so this is my point. Like when I get to the chorus, I want it to be big. You know, I want it to kind of create an impact. So yeah, this is a nice trick. If you guys want to use 2 bass lines in your tracks, please like do that. I do that like loads of times. Maybe 3 bass elements will be maximum. And but you gotta you gotta understand where you want to put them. Like, are they all gonna play? I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not gonna happen. It's gonna sound very bad, very muddy. But if you clear them and you have a clear perception of what you want to do, okay, this bass is gonna be my sub, this bass is gonna be my mid, this is gonna be my mid, my low mids, you know? If you have this perception, you know, put things in boxes, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work for you. So we're down to the instruments now. I'm gonna check my guitar, my main guitar. Okay, there's a little bit of distortion. That's part of the Kontakt plugin I'm using. That's all right. It is what it is. Okay. Okay, so this guitar is very fuzzy. It's very the high end. Let me check here with my equalizer. Okay, so this section around here, you know, is like let me highlight for you guys. Around here, it's very fuzzy, you know. You can hear the guitar really crying, like, you know, as this is pop, like it's supposed to have a singer on top. I'm pretty sure these frequencies, they're not gonna work good with anyone's vocal, okay? So I could do this 2 ways. I could just grab my equalizer. Yeah. I'm being a bit rough so you guys can clearly hear the difference. Okay, I could do it this way, or I can do it in another way that I really like to work with Multiband Dynamics in Ableton Live. Okay, so the Multiband Dynamics in Ableton Live, they work according to 3 frequencies. Okay, so basically we got our high end, which goes from 250k upwards. Let me grab the equalizer so I can show you. So the high end goes from, I'm gonna say it's around here. Yeah, it goes from here to there. We have our mid, which basically goes from the frequency you set here, okay, 250k, to the frequency you set here. So this one is like, it's like this part. Okay, it goes from 120, I'm gonna assume 120 is there, to 250. And then you got the low end, which is from this frequency downwards. Okay, so it's gonna go from 120 down. Okay, sorry, I missed, but you kind of understood what I said. Yeah, so 120 down. Okay, so what this allows me to do, instead of equalizing and taming things very aggressively, it allows me to compress the frequencies individually, or it allows me to expand them. Okay, so the left rectangles, they expand the sound. Expansion, it's something I'm gonna talk to you later on. I'm not gonna waste time with that. Okay, I'm just gonna do the compression. So I can hide these blocks. Okay, I just click and drag to the left, and then I'm gonna grab the rectangle, pull it to the left, and you see there's my mouse turned into a two arrows thing, so I can pull it up or I can pull it down. Okay, I'm gonna pull it down to do the downwards. It's the downward compression. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. Turning it off. And then I play with my amount. This is my dry wet. I really like this because it has a dry wet. Yeah, something around this area would be good. Okay. Another thing I always do with guitars is I find the resonance peaks, and I'm going to be very, again, the surgeon knife, I'm going to be very surgical with it. I'm going to use my TDR Nova. TDR Nova. Okay. You need to always turn the in the in analyzer. I don't know why it doesn't come standard, but hey. So what I'm trying to look here is I'm trying to look for constant peaks that go above 0 dB. Okay, so I'm gonna say around here I have these peaks, and usually the low ones are very concerning as well for our mix. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna use the dynamic capabilities of it. So I'm gonna leave the gain at 0. I'm gonna turn the threshold on, and I'm gonna lower it by maybe 5 dB. What this does, instead of being constantly pushed down or to actually kill that frequency, it's only gonna go down when the specific frequency plays. Okay, I need to go down. Okay. I need to take my Q factor. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. Let's do the same for the lower end. So in this time I'm gonna use the sharpest Q factor I can use. Okay. Okay. Somewhere around here, I'd say. Always the gain always stays at 0 dB. Okay, because I want the dynamic equalizer to be able to do its job, and to do its job, it's only EQ when the frequency resonance appears above the threshold. Okay, so the threshold, it's like I said, the thing of the grass example. So imagine you have a backyard, you have your lawn, like your grass, yeah, and you gotta cut your grass, right? So the height at which you cut your grass, let's say 10 centimeters, yeah, that's your threshold. So what I'm saying to the EQ, sorry, it's anything that goes above 10 dB, please tame it down. So that's what it's doing. Gonna pull this a little bit down. Yeah, okay, nice. Okay, I'm gonna have to increase the Q factor here. Okay. Nice. Yes. Okay. So as you can see, like, I'm gonna grab my two plugins. I'm gonna turn them off, pressing 0, and you're gonna listen with and without. So this is without. This is with. With. Without. With. Okay. So I also added some flavor to the guitar because I didn't want it to be that sharp. So I think we're good. Okay, so I have an acoustic guitar here. I'm gonna add a nice equalizer just to check if there's any low frequencies in here. Yeah, okay, so we have the same trouble. I'm not gonna use the TDR Nova so we don't waste so much time. I'm just gonna cut these two a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we're good. I'm gonna add a saturator now. Okay, I'm gonna add a saturator because the saturator, like I told you, is like going through an analog desk. Okay, so this saturator in Ableton is actually, it's amazing. I use it all the time. So if you crank up the drive, you see, we're not having any distortion. It's just louder, like way louder. Okay, what we have is saturation. Okay, so distortion is when it goes like really grungy, and saturation is just a tiny bit of sugar on top. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to crank up the drive up until you're satisfied with it. I don't go above 10, to be honest with you. Otherwise, it's actually going to be very noticeable. So I want something very light. So I increase the drive, and then I compensate with the output and with the dry wet, because basically cranking up the drive, it's going to increase the volume way too much. And as you know, everything that is louder we kind of perceive it as being better, but that's not the truth. So yeah, just try and keep the unity gain. I'm not going to go into unity gain, but Google that if you want to know what it is. It's very important. It's basically you got to have the same volume entering your plugin and leaving your plugin. So the before, the pre plugin and post plugins got to be the same volume. Okay. Yeah. 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 Roughly around this. Okay. So I took 7 out, did almost 10 in. I always go by ear. I never dial in any values or hardly dial any values. So muted guitar. Okay. We got a bit of low end in here. So my equalizer, it comes default with the low end cut. Okay. The way you do this, if you haven't learned this yet, you dial in whatever configurations you want. You know, you can have them all on if you want. Like this, if you're like someone that really enjoys EQing, and you right click and you do save as default preset. So when you do save as default preset, every time you open the EQ in Ableton Live, it's going to come up with whatever configuration you saved it in. Okay, so I like to have mine with just a few dots. I can't even remember how it was. Yeah, it's like this. Okay, so yeah. I like to have my 8 slope as a high cut, low cut, and then I like a high shelf in here because usually I do this kind of equalizer and the low shelf in here. Okay, and all the rest stays the same. So muted guitar. Okay. What I want is the mid. So I'm gonna take this. Okay. See this peak here? I really don't like that peak. So I'm gonna go TDR Nova on that really quickly. In, okay, just put it here, double click, threshold, put it down, Q factor maximum. Okay. It's gonna miss a bit. It's not a surfing EQ. Okay. So the surfer EQ, what it does, it kind of goes and finds the frequency that is peaking. So we gotta go with what we have. Okay. So many amazing tracks have been done with the TDR Nova. So don't worry about that. It's great. It's a great tool. One thing I like to do with this muted guitar, obviously, it's add some saturation. Okay. Maybe gonna take a little bit off. Oh, took too much. Okay. So we're all good. Our guitars are dead in the center, which is something I don't like. See here, center. So I'm gonna pull this one a little bit to the left and this one a little bit to the right. Usually I don't use the exact numbers. I don't use like 10 left, 10 right. I do 10 left, 9 right, or yeah, I don't do that way. So the way I find my balance is literally I push it all the way until I hear it and then I start cranking it down. This is my main guitar. Okay. One thing I like really to do with guitars is to close the guitar theme. There's this parallel processing method, which was developed by Dave Pensado. I haven't invented this, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm mentioning the author. So Dave Pensado, it's one of the most amazing engineers, mixing engineers in the world today. He has a really great YouTube channel called The Pensado's Place. If you really want to learn like some really cool tricks and to get to know some people in the industry, yeah, Pensado's Place is probably the best place for you. So what he does is basically he creates a send track, like a return track, and then he puts like something that will be able to pitch the sound acoustically. So I use Pitch Hack. It's in the creative extensions thing I gave you. So the Pitch Hack Basically what this does is like you can have the sound going through the pitch hack and it lowers it by semitones. So as you know, 12 semitones, that's 1 octave. So you want to put it 1 octave down, okay? And what you're going to do is, I'm going to mute this one. You want to send your guitars to that channel, okay? Then you got to choose the appropriate rate and do the dry wet on the maximum, okay? You're thinking, Diogo, yeah, that sounds awful. And I'm like, all right, just take it easy. So after the pitch hack, what you're gonna do is like you're gonna add an equalizer, okay? And what you want to do is you want to conserve literally the most important part of your guitar, which is like it's called the voice of the guitar, which is usually I'd say around between like 150, 1K, something around that. Let me just check. Yeah, 100, 1K exactly. Yeah, sorry about that. So 100, 1K. Okay, you want to conserve this, yeah, okay, and then you want to saturate it afterwards. Yeah, I'm not gonna do so much low end. Yeah, okay, yeah, great. So listen to the guitar. I'm gonna start adding the pitch hack thingy. Okay. Clear? Okay? You're thinking, that actually, it's like, there's something in there that I don't like. And you're like, okay, now try with the whole track. It sounds empty. Now it sounds fuller. What you can do is you can also tweak the volume of the send channel if you want. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a cool trick. This is actually it's a really, really, really cool trick. So my reverse guitar. Okay, my reverse guitar definitely needs some sending to my big reverb. Okay, my big reverb. I'm actually using the Valhalla vintage reverb, which is really good reverb. But so you guys can have a similar thing, I'm gonna use the hybrid reverb in Ableton, which is like for me, it's literally one of the best additions, not addictions, sorry, additions in Ableton 11. And what I like to do, I like to always equalize the low end for my reverb. Like if you see here, this is my small reverb. You know, I haven't done anything to it, but usually on my big reverb, I always like to equalize because I'm gonna be honest with you, like the low end of every element doesn't need reverb. Okay, so there's no need for reverb. So I just equalize it straight up, and yeah, let me see how this sounds. Okay, I want something bigger, so I'm gonna go for maybe a hall. Hall stands for concert hall, okay, not entry hall for a house, okay, something I find funny. Okay, let's actually be clear for seconds. That's better. Let me push the decay a little bit more. Oh, that's a resonance. I don't want that. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, okay. Okay, I just want big reverb to have a tail on my elements. Okay, Pad Misty. Okay, it's just a nice touch. It's Omnisphere. You know, if you, yeah, this is not a production masterclass, but if you haven't heard about Omnisphere, I highly recommend you guys check it. It's like the most amazing plugin. It's my desert island plugin. If you could go to a desert island and bring one plugin with you, I would bring Omnisphere, definitely. Strings. Okay. Okay. So in here on the strings and the pads, I'm gonna use the plugin I told you about. I'm gonna use Wider. Okay. Why am I gonna use Wider? Because Wider basically it's very easy plugin to use. Basically, you just crank up this I'm gonna call it like a fader, maybe, you know, this fader, and as the image implies, it kind of increases your frequency, your stereo spectrum. So Okay, this is too much. Usually I never go above 100, okay? Okay, so with, without, with, without, with. Okay, this is very noticeable. You guys need to have stereo on Zoom. I don't know if you guys been briefed on that. Have they been briefed on how to turn stereo on, Joey? I just remembered now. Hello. Anyway.
Yes, Diogo. Yes, I believe
Yeah.
everyone. Mo would have taken care of that. He's very on point
Okay.
with all that type of stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that. So, so the stereo, the widener, it's very, very important. Okay, for you to like. We're coming from here. This is our verse. Okay, someone's singing. They're starting to tell their story. They're pointing us to a certain direction. They're giving us an introduction to what's gonna happen, and then when they get to the chorus, they're gonna explain like why this is all happening. You know, what's the reason? You know, and they want to see it big. You know. Yeah. So I'm gonna increase my strings in my pads because I want this to be big. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I got my pad organ in here as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is one of the tricks about pop production. I usually do this in the mix as well. I do it in a certain way that the client doesn't notice, to be honest. I add some layers of some elements. They're all playing the same. It's like an orchestra. Okay. So you got this first guy, then you got this guy, then you got this guy. Okay. They're all playing the same thing, but they don't sound as individual elements. They sound as a whole. Okay, so you definitely wanna try and do that. And in terms of equalizing, as these elements, they are very vocally. I could hear if a vocal would be on top of this, especially if it was a female or a high pitched vocal. I'm pretty sure these elements would kind of like maybe conflict a little bit with the vocal. So what I do, I go around 1K. Usually it's around 1K. It can be lower or higher, but I'd have to have the vocal. So I'll go around 1K. I'll just tame it down 3 dB, 2, 3 dB. Yeah, okay, literally like this. Strings, same, like this. Pad organ, pad organ. Actually, this pad organ has some really nasty resonances. We're gonna have to take care of that first. Yeah. Okay. So let's hear that. So what do I did here is literally just tame down the 1K. Okay. So my vocal could fit better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna map my key to the bypass button. I'm gonna use the letter K. Okay. Strings, letter K. Pad organ, letter K. Okay, we're gonna listen to this. So this is without EQing. Now without, with. Okay, and what you're probably thinking is, sorry, I don't hear a lot of difference, and you're probably right. There is not a massive difference. It's just about, like, to be honest with you, it's just about caring. You know, it's just about caring and thinking ahead of yourself, you know. If by any chance you hear that this changes your sound or that it ruins your sound, it means you're equalizing too much, okay? Equalization can be one of the lightest and one of the more aggressive techniques to use, okay? It all depends on your how should I say it, on your sensibility, okay, on your touch to things, okay? So this pad organ, it already had the sidechain on it and the reverb on it, okay? So it's just basically to make it a bit more wide, the reverb. That's what the reverb does as well. The reverb gives stereo wideness as well. It's the most basic, literally the most basic plugin of stereo widening. Okay, so that's it's very important that you use it. Then we're gonna go to the strings, and we're gonna increase. I already had some, but we're gonna increase the send to our big reverb. Okay, we're good. Pad Misty. I think this has some reverb to it, but I'm gonna add some more. Okay, pad organ. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. Let's listen to the whole thing. You see, every time I hear it, I kinda just tweak a little bit. But not too much, you know, because I'm going through the mix. I know I have done appropriate choices in the past, so I'm gonna respect my choices, but I'm gonna just tame them just a little bit. Okay, now we have our Vox hit. Okay, our Vox hit, it's really good. What I'm gonna use here is the OTT. Okay, I'm gonna use the OTT here because I want to kind of ruin the voice, which is it's just something that, like I told you, we've been doing for a long time actually. The singers don't like it, but hey, that's the work, yeah. So the way the OTT works, OTT stands for over-the-top compression. It's based on a multiband compressor preset from Ableton, believe it or not. So multiband compressor, you got OTT in there. Okay, why do I use the external plugin instead of the OTT? To be honest with you, I think they did something slightly different on the OTT. I'm not sure, but I really like the way it looks, and I'm very familiar with it. And especially these two knobs in here are the ones that crack the job for me. Because I can just go in here, you see the blocks on the left, they represent the upwards compression or expansion. And the ones on the right, the greens on the right, they represent the downwards compression. Okay, so what this does is literally it allows me to go by low, mid, and highs. Okay, each band represented here. It allows me to, like, for instance, if I want to crank up the mids, and I don't want any downwards compression, I just want upwards compression. Okay. Okay, imagine I want to, yeah, bring that resonance down now, and bring the upwards up. Okay, so this is good. You know, this is something that I would like to try. The volume is being drastically increased, so pay attention to this. Okay. You see, there is a certain harshness to the OTT. It's a very versatile tool, and it's been used in modern music. Although some of the classic engineers, they kind of have a religion against OTT, which is something I consider, like, sometimes I don't like the way some of my students or my clients use it, but it's there. And look, music, it's about not having boundaries. Okay, so if you use it in a creative way and you like the result, like, just trust your taste and go with it. You know, don't let anybody tell you, like, you can't do this or you can't do that. It's art. You know, like, what's the limits for art? You know, just do whatever you want to do. So OTT on the vocal, let's hear. Okay, a little bit louder. Yeah, okay, I like this, but then I'm gonna use, like, equalizer to kind of tame down the highs. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this vocal is it's amazing. I'm pretty sure this was sang. So on this vocal, like on the main vocal, I'm gonna use a saturator to enhance it, because I really want to hear it, like, quite properly. And I'm going to use my friend wider again. Why? Because I really want the vocal to be wide. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do? Yeah, wider increases the volume as well, so you gotta be careful with that. Okay. Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with Wither now, which is very, 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 it's very interesting. I'm gonna automate the amount of wideness that is going to play out through my track. Okay, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna find a nice, comfortable place to start with. Let's say maybe 38. Yeah, I'm cool with this, and I'm gonna increase the wideness as we go through our track. What this is going to do, this is not going to be perceivable by the common listener. This is going to be perceivable, how should I say, like in terms of vibe, in terms of impact, in terms of the way it's going to affect the people that listen to it, okay? Okay. You see? Now what we're having is we're having a sense of wideness, okay? Instead of the vocal being in the middle, Actually, 83 in here is too much. The values don't relate. That's why I gotta find them. You see, it's here. It's 0.41, but it's already at 83%. So I wanna have less. Okay, I wanna have less. Okay, 47. Listen to the vocal. Yeah. Okay. So it's different. You know, it gives you a different vibe. So this is a very, very cool trick. You know, just find your key element, find the element that you really want to stand out, and just automate the wider thingy. So the wider amount. Sorry, not thingy. That wasn't very professional. Sorry. So the way I would do this for the rest of the song, just to clarify this with you guys, I would copy the automation. See, I'd actually just double it. Yeah, just click Command D. So here, okay, and then we have our bridge here, which would make it go down. And even in the end, if you want, like final chorus, yeah, push it a little bit. You know, like in music, sometimes like we don't understand this, but a tiny difference of 1 dB can make like a really nice impact on the vibe, on the whole personality of the song. Let's put it this way. So these are our instruments. Instrument group, very important. I would add a nice maybe a glue compressor in here. It's kind of like more analog, just to take the just tiny peaks. So I want this to kind of compress just 1-2 dB. Okay. Okay. A little bit less. So the attack, I want to get the transients. I want to let the transients through. So I'm gonna try between 3 and 10. Yeah, okay, I like it there. And the release, I want it as fast as possible, so the compressor like gets back to its original position as fast as possible. The ratio, it's not gonna be aggressive because I'm taming the whole group. I don't want to kill the dynamics. And then I'm gonna compensate here on the makeup the amount I got here. So I'm gonna say 1.7 dB, something around that. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna do parallel compression, which is the dry wet being at 50%. Without, with. Okay. I'm gonna add a saturator to the group, actually before the compressor, with a very, 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 very tiny amount of saturation. I don't want to hear any distortion. I just want to heat the whole elements, the elements as a whole, sorry. Because doing saturation individually, it's not the same as doing a saturation to the summing of the elements, okay? It's very important that you keep this in mind. When you address, like for say, EQing, okay? When you EQ a certain element, okay, and then you put it in a group, it sums, right? It adds to the frequencies that the other elements have. So if you EQ it before, you know, in the individual track, and then you get to the group and you get the summing of a nasty resonance or something like that, you're gonna have to EQ again, Okay, so bear that in mind. Groups are not just for volume, they're for treatments as well. So saturation. Okay, I'm hearing a little bit of... Okay. Okay, we're good. Let me turn this off. Okay. Okay, we're good. Last but not least, equalizing after the compressor. Some people like to equalize before the compressor. When I'm doing the groups, I usually like to equalize in the end, so everything is very surgically taken care of. But you could do it. You could do it in the beginning as well. Okay, I just like to do it in the end. Okay. Just remove these tiny peaks here. I'm gonna pull it up so I listened to exactly what I'm EQing, and then I'm gonna pull it down. Yeah, this harshness. Okay. Okay, and now notice like I didn't even go beyond, I think 2. Yeah, 1.6, 1.2. So it's just these tiny details. They all sum up to a really good thing. Think of music as cooking. Yeah, like, you know, if you're cooking and you put too much of a certain spice, it's gonna overpower the dish, and it's not gonna taste like anything. It's just gonna taste as that spice. But if you add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, just a tiny bit with really good ingredients, you're gonna have a really nice mixture of flavors. So that's what you wanna aim when you're mixing.